Hello everyone. Hello all. I am Dr. Vandana Jain. I practice at Vardhaman Hospital, Muzaffarnagar. I am the director of IVF center there. I practice laparoscopy, infertility and IVF. I'm really glad to interact with you all through this live session. I am fine. I am fine is a great initiative towards building a community of like minded women and addressing their common issues. It is inspiring to see you all coming forward and motivates me to be a part of this community and help you in a way that I can. We've been receiving a lot of questions on infertility, PCOD, cycle length, weight loss, lifestyle. We will be answering a few of them through this session. Please note that this is just a general awareness discussion. For any specific issues, you must consult your gynecologist or you can meet me in person. We are not endorsing or criticizing any brand, so let us all refrain from using any brand names in the comments as well. Let us keep it a clean, healthy, educational, and a positive discussion. So let's begin. First of all, I have a set of few questions. So, the most common questions. So, in my OPD, the most common question that I face is Doctor, I got married. When should I worry if I have been trying to get pregnant but can't? So, the crux of the question is when to meet your doctor? When do you declare yourself infertile? और when it is the time to worry? कब चिंता करनी चाहिए कि अब बहुत टाइम हो गया है, अब तो मुझे कुछ ट्रीटमेंट लेना चाहिए, वेट नहीं करना चाहिए. सो इन नॉर्मल टर्म्स 1 ईयर यानी कि एक साल तक वी शुड ट्राई नॉर्मली. द हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ शुड हैव इंटरकोर्स नॉर्मली. एंड इफ दे डू नॉट कंसीव इन दैट 1 ईयर, एक साल में यदि प्रेगनेंसी ना हो, then they should definitely consult their gynecologist or concerned doctor. But there are few exceptions to this rule. अगर यानी कि if your age is more than 35 or if you have any problems in establishing intercourse with your husband or if you have a tumor in your abdomen, आपके अल्ट्रासाउंड में कुछ एबनॉर्मल है, आपको हस्बैंड से मिलने में कोई दिक्कत होती है, आपकी कोई ऐसी फैमिली हिस्ट्री है या पहले आपके कुछ ऐसे अबॉर्शंस हैं या कुछ साइकिल लेंथ लॉन्ग है, तो आपको अपने डॉक्टर को जल्दी मिलना चाहिए. कुछ मुझे ऐसा याद दिलाता है कि साइंस तो हमेशा चेंज हो रही है. सो आई विल जस्ट साइट वन एग्जांपल. मेरे पास एक कपल आया 47 ईयर ओल्ड का. तो वो मेरे पास आए तो मैंने उन्हें बोला कि आपको आपकी प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन तो अभी है. उनकी जो भी प्रॉब्लम थी वो कभी 30 साल पहले उन्होंने दिखाया होगा, 30 ईयर्स पहले उन्होंने जिस डॉक्टर को दिखाया तब सोल्यूशन नहीं था, तो वो लोग घर बैठ गए कि उसका सोल्यूशन तो है ही नहीं. पर अब वो 30 ईयर्स बाद आए किसी गांव से, तो उन्हें पता चला कि इसका सोल्यूशन है, तो अब वो बेबी प्लान करना चाहते हैं. सो इफ यू हैव अ प्रॉब्लम यू मस्ट कीप विजिटिंग योर डॉक्टर बिकॉज साइंस इज चेंजिंग, एवरीथिंग इज चेंजिंग. यू शुड नॉट सिट बैक एट होम. Since the science is changing, something which was untreatable earlier is now treatable. Okay. So I've answered hopefully your first question that when should you meet a doctor? So the answer would be 1 year. Ideally 1 year, but yes, if you have other problems, as I've already mentioned, then meet early. Now, the second most common question. Doctor, I don't want to take any treatment. I just got married. I mean, it's been only 6 months. We haven't tried properly. So, how can I increase my chances of conceiving? I'm really scared of going to a doctor. So, can you tell me some solution or some things to increase my chances of conceiving while I'm sitting at home only? Why not? I'm not just a doctor. I'm your friend also. I can tell you some solution. So, most important thing, which everyone is unaware of, but now due to social media, due to public such things, events which have been issued in public interest, there is awareness. So the couple must be aware of the fertile days. What is fertile days? फर्टाइल डेज समझने के लिए पहले साइकिल लेंथ समझना जरूरी है. व्हाट इज साइकिल? व्हाट इज द आइडियल लेंथ ऑफ अ साइकिल? तो आइडियल लेंथ ऑफ अ साइकिल इज 21 to 35 days. कई बार मेरे पास ओपीडी में वेमेन आती हैं, बोलती हैं डॉक्टर मेरी साइकिल तो 10-7 दिन पहले आ गई, आई एम वेरी वरीड, या मेरी साइकिल 3-4 दिन चढ़ के आई है, आई एम वेरी वरीड. सो फ्रेंड्स डू नॉट वरी, 21 to 35 डेज की साइकिल लेंथ नॉर्मल है. यदि आपको if you have periods shorter than this or longer than this duration, then it is abnormal. So first of all, you must understand what is your cycle length. So on average, most of the women have cycle length of around 28 to 30 days. They call it monthly. So if you have a cycle length of 20 to 30 days, and if you fall in those criteria, then fertile days matlab those days when you meet your husband or have intercourse with your husband, there are maximum chances of getting pregnant. Why so? Because the egg is getting ruptured in these days. So if you and your husband know about these fertile days of your cycle and have intercourse in these particular days, there are maximum chances of getting pregnant. So in a woman who has a cycle length of 28 to 30 days, day 11 to day 18 are the most fertile days. Day 11 to day 18, the couple should have intercourse daily or at least on alternate days. Now, why is it important to understand this fertile days? As you all know, we all are now very, very busy. We all are either working in different cities. The couple is one of the wife is in Bangalore, husband is in Jaipur, or wife is in India, husband is in another country. So they meet, yes, they meet monthly, but it might happen that they are not meeting on those fertile days. So simply because of missing these fertile days, they have wasted their years. Whereas if they have information about these fertile days, then and have intercourse in these fertile days, they can have a baby much sooner. Nowadays we have, not just by calculating, there are many apps also which help you in predicting your ovulatory days or fertile days. So if you just feed your last cycle, the app in iPhone itself, if you have a health app, they can tell you various things. There are various apps which can tell you, okay, fine, these are your fertile days and you can have intercourse and there are maximum chances of conceiving. Now, other than understanding fertile days, which is the most important concept, you can also practice things like, if you do not are not aware, then have intercourse at least alternate days, or after intercourse, keep lying down for around 10 to 15 minutes, or put a pillow under your buttocks. So these are the few things which you can practice. Now, next question, since we are already discussing the cycle length, can the length of my cycle, doctor, affect my fertility? Oh, yes, it is a very important factor which can affect your fertility. For example, if you have a short cycle or if you have a long cycle, you must investigate why is it happening. As I've already mentioned, something which is regular and is 21 to 35 days, then there is nothing to worry if it is happening on a regular basis. But yes, if you have very long cycles, suppose your periods don't come for 2 months, 3 months, or you need medicines every time, then you must consult your gynec. As in, what is the problem? There are many problems. PCOD is one of them, which leads to long cycles, and there are easy treatment options available for such. Sometimes PCOD women, what they do, or people with long cycles, they go to the any chemist XYZ shop and take regular medicines to bring their periods. But they fail to understand that if they get their periods and take these medicines regularly, they're actually not working towards pregnancy. So if your aim is pregnancy and you have long cycles, you must take proper treatment. You might have some problems which are easily treatable, one of which is PCOD. Okay? Now, if you have short cycles, then also you can have PCOD. Sometimes your periods are coming very early, or you might have some hormonal imbalances. Then also you need treatment. You must consult your gynae, get an ultrasound done, get your hormone levels done, and take adequate treatment for that. Now, I must come to a question. This was a question I was waiting for, and a question asked by almost 100% of my OPD patients. Doctor, I'm overweight. And will losing the excess weight help me to get pregnant? Or doctor, I'm overweight. How do I lose weight? I've been trying. I don't eat, I exercise very well, and I do gym every day. What do I do? So, friends, first of all, we must understand that weight has an important role in conception. So, if you are overweight or obese, that means your weight exceeds a particular limit, then you will not conceive easily, or it might pose a problem. आपको मुश्किल हो सकती है conceive करने में. And for every 5% weight loss, the chances of pregnancy increases proportionately. Saying it, it's easy to say, I know it is very, very difficult to go for weight loss. For weight loss or for pregnancy, role of weight in pregnancy, we must understand just one thing. It is not important to be slim. It is important to be fit and healthy. As my motto says, I am fine, I am fit. So you must understand what is being fit. For that, you must understand there are two things. One is lifestyle and one is your diet. So in your lifestyle, you have diet and exercise. Diet plays a 70% role in your weight. So whatever magic has to happen in your kitchen. So there are few things which you must understand that 70% role is played by diets. So do not follow extreme measures like go on a dieting. Do not follow, I tell all my patients, do not follow any one particular kind of diet. Do not starve your body. Your body is a temple. Treat it nicely. Treat it with respect. So once you understand that concept and you understand what to eat, what not to eat, you will eventually be on a right path. So let's discuss it one by one. First is diet. So what exactly in diet do you need to understand? So do not follow any fads like आज ये आया है नया ये सीड्स खा लेते हैं या फिर चलो घी बंद कर देते हैं चावल बंद कर देते हैं नहीं हर चीज everything has to happen in moderation. You must understand little or excess of everything is bad. If you are doing something, it should be in moderate amounts and consistent. If you are following a lifestyle, it should be consistent. It should not be that one month you are on a diet and then another month you are on a big holiday and in which you are having a 1200 calorie meal and thinking, okay, I was on diet last month. No, if you were on a diet last month, you should be moderately enjoying. Enjoyment means being in moderation, not spoiling of what you did, what extra effort you put in last month. So the first thing is do not follow any fads. Then fix your meal timings. All this really helps in PCOD. A lot of patients are obese, a lot of patients are PCOD. So all these things, if you follow, then you eventually help in conceiving. How? Because if you lose your weight or your metabolism goes in the right direction, then your hormones get balanced, your cycle length becomes regular, and you have an egg formation. So, for diet, you must follow fixed meal timings. If you follow fixed meal timings, you have a discipline in your life. It is not you are eating one day you are eating your breakfast at 9 and another you are getting up at 11 and eating your breakfast at 12. Even your body doesn't understand what you are doing to your body. So you must fix your meal timings, which you should follow almost 6 to 7 days a week. Okay. So if you're having a breakfast, have it at a fixed time of 8 to 10, a lunch around 2, and dinner around 7 to 8. So I always follow this principle: eat like a king and eat breakfast like a king and a lunch like a prince and dinner like a beggar. Okay? So have small frequent meals and also understand every food. You must know whether it is a good for you or not good for you. Avoid food like refined carbohydrates, refined fats, sugars. These are the food items you should avoid. Eat raw, eat more of fruits and vegetables rather than having cooked meals all the time. Then there are food items which have hidden calories. You must know that these food items are not very good for you. You might think that this is fine. No, but that contains a lot of calories which will lead to weight gain. So know your food. And as I've already mentioned, eat more raw and eat in moderation. So friends, this is the first part, which is the diet part. Then we come to exercise. So as I've already mentioned, being fit is more important than being lean. So I do not recommend those high intensity workouts or those strenuous workouts. What I recommend is going for long term goals. That is a fitter you. By that I mean you should adopt something which you can follow all your life, not something which you can do this month but cannot continue next month. So go for walks. Walking is the best exercise. I recommend a 30 to 45 minute of walk daily. You can start with 10 to 20 minutes and gradually increase to around 30 minutes. And this is a form of exercise which you can continue even while you are pregnant or even while you are trying. So This is one exercise which you can continue. Other than walking, I would say that you can go for yoga. Yoga is a very good form of exercise. It keeps you physically and mentally fit. Then all these exercises, walking, yoga, you should try to do them early morning. That is the best time. And walking not on a treadmill, on grass, on a track, in the outside environment. Enjoy the sunlight, enjoy the gifts of God, gifts of nature. That would lead to positive energy in your body. Then, other than this, meditation. Not just physical exercise, mental exercise to keep a balanced you. You should be balanced from top down. So, friends, these are the lifestyle tips which I want to give you. Keep yourself physically and mentally fit. Because if you keep yourself physically fit, your body gives you have good end results with your hormones. And if you keep yourself mentally fit, decrease your stress, that increases the positivity. Again, it leads to hormonal balances. Then the next question which I have most commonly in is, could a previous abortion or having been on the pill affect my fertility? Yes, a previous abortion could affect your fertility. So, because of a previous abortion, sometimes patient continues to have scanty menses or patient develops some infection due to which there is a difficulty in conceiving. So, after abortion, you must try for 3 to 4 months. And if you do not have a conception in the following 3 to 4 months, then you must consult your gynecologist. Or if you've been on a pill and you've dropped the pill for 2 to 3 months after dropping the pill, also you are not able to conceive, then also you must consult your gynecologist. Now, the next information. The next question, how do we know which infertility treatments are best for us? So friends, you must understand one treatment might be best for one couple, but it might not be best for the another couple. We have various kinds of infertility treatment which is available. For example, medical treatment. Some patients, for example, PCOD, might conceive by medicine itself. They just need one medicine and little guidance and they can conceive. But some people who have big fibroid, they need surgery, first of all, which is blocking their tubes or causing different problems. They need surgery to conceive. And for example, one couple which has a low sperm count or a nil sperm count and needs testicular biopsy to retrieve sperms need only IVF fixing. So, friends, it is like a lock and key. The key to every lock is different. Similarly, every couple has a different problem, and hence the solution will also be tailor made according to that problem. You cannot have one solution for all the problems. You must understand that, then only we would be able to treat you. So, whenever you are facing such problems, meet your doctor. See what is your problem. The doctor would be able to diagnose your problems after conducting a battery of tests. So, once your problem is diagnosed, the treatment would be made available. Now, next question, how is female infertility diagnosed? So, friends, this is a very scientific question, but I would like to give just the gist of it. So, in female infertility, there are few factors. For example, tubal factor, then there is an ovarian factor, then there is a uterine factor, then there is an unexplained factor. Tubal factor. Those who are suffering must be knowing. There are various tests which can be done to diagnose whether the tubes are open or closed, which is, for example, HSG, yani ki hysterosalpingography. In common layman terms, they call it tube test, or sonosalpingography or laparoscopy to diagnose tubal patency. Then ovarian factor, whether she is forming an egg or not. So by ultrasound, we come to know whether she is forming a dominant egg or not, whether it is rupturing or not. Then uterine factor, whether her endometrium is building rightly or not, or whether she has some fibroid or polyp which is preventing a pregnancy to happen. Then, beyond all these, there is one factor which is unexplained. For example, in a couple in which the male partner is also doing fine and the female partner is also doing fine, and still, even after treatment, they are unable to conceive and they are not able to find the cause. Now, 10% of those are called unexplained infertility. Now, I have a very general question now. This question is, how can I prevent infertility? Now, if I had an answer to this, a complete answer to this, I don't think we would be doing this. So, how can I prevent infertility? There is no set way to prevent infertility. You can diagnose it early and treat it early. You can easily treat it. For example, if you have a problem, go to the doctor early and get it treated. Do not delay your treatment. Sometimes you just keep waiting for the right thing to happen without making any extra efforts. In spite of knowing it, आपको पता है कि ट्यूब ब्लॉक है, आपको पता है कि फाइब्रॉइड है, आपको पता है कि सिस्ट है, आपको पता है कि पार्टनर में दिक्कत है या मिलने में दिक्कत है, पर आप हिचकिचा रहे हैं. You're not able to meet the doctor or you're not able to discuss your concerns. Try to discuss them at earliest and then you can be treated. Now, so there is a question about male partner. So I have this question ki my partner is suffering or the lot of men come to our OPD that they have a low male count. So if they have a low male count, now we have various treatment options available. There is nothing to be embarrassed of it. As I've already mentioned in my earlier videos and earlier speeches that male partner is equally responsible for conception. So nowadays, because of lifestyle changes and pollution, we have a lot of people who are suffering these problems. So male partner, they have a variety of things which are there. One is the count is low. So if the count is low, you can give medicines. There are various medicines which can increase the count. Sometimes the motility is low. For that, we must give antioxidants and various other medicines. Even for the male partner, not only for the female, we must understand lifestyle और diet का रोल दोनों में है. No smoking, no alcohol, no tobacco. Avoid avoid refined foods, avoid junk food, eat lot of raw vegetables. Everyday walking is must. You must exercise. That keeps your body active. That keeps all your body parts active. All this adds to your health. Then whatever a woman has to do, even a man has to do to maintain his sperm count. Then, if there is a nil sperm count, now there are various new techniques available which have been available for more than a decade, which is TISA, testicular extraction of sperm. For by IVF ICSI, even if the count is nil, we can take out sperms from the testes and the couple can conceive and have their own baby. So, other than this male partner, we can manage. Oh, next question is when should I seek help for infertility? As I've already mentioned, 1 year is the standard, but yes, if you have other things which are there, like I've already mentioned in the beginning of my video, then you must concern your doctor early. So next question is can PCOS affect your chances of getting pregnant? So PCOD, we can take a full masterclass on that. PCOD is a separate topic in itself. Yes, it does. So PCOD has variety of symptoms. We have young girls around 17, 18 years old, thick, very obese, and they come with long cycles. They do not have periods without medicines. So their problem is they do not have periods. But once these girls get married, then their problem would not be not having periods. Then their problem would be not having a baby. So we treat PCOD according to their problems. So yes, lot of women with PCOD have a difficulty in having pregnancy. But the solution is very easy, and if they take treatment at the right age, there is a stepwise treatment which is available. So now I would like to answer questions which are displayed on my screen. Okay. Okay. So one question is my age is 35. Should I be worried? I think yes. If you are 35, you don't need to get worried. But yes, if you are married and if you want to plan a pregnancy, there is no harm in planning a pregnancy soon. But if you want to postpone your pregnancy, now there are various options available of freezing your eggs or embryos. If you want, you can go for egg freezing or embryo freezing so that if you want to conceive later, you have healthy eggs which are being frozen. So I have a question of a patient who says scanty period. I face a lot of women come to my OPD with scanty flow. So I want to tell you there are a lot of reasons for scanty flow. One of which is infection, a uterine infections. So you need to see the gynecologist, get an ultrasound done. If you have any uterine infection, that needs to be treated. Then there is another reason for scanty flow. One is PCOD. So if you have PCOD, you need to take adequate treatment. And if you have a history of previous surgery on your uterus, then that also leads to scanty flow. So, next question is finasteride. Yes, so finasteride we usually give to PCO patients, but we do not, if a patient is trying to conceive, we do not recommend taking finasteride. Okay, so next question is sexual dysfunction. So yes, if a husband or a couple is not able to practice sex regularly, or is there is a difficulty in establishing intercourse, the husband or wife, any of the partner is facing a problem, they must see their concerned doctor. We have help available at every step. Like for a female, a gynecologist is available. For men, we have andrologist available who can offer them help. Then we have psychotherapy also available to face their psychological issues. Okay. So next question is diabetes. So diabetes, no. Diabetes as per se does not have a role in infertility, but yes, that PCOD patients may have diabetes. So if a PCO patient comes to you in OPD, we need to rule out that and find out if there is a problem, then treat accordingly. If we treat diabetes or hidden diabetes at the right time, the patient would have a healthy pregnancy. Now, I have a question about tubal factor, tubal block. Suppose a patient has a tubal block. What do we do in that? If there is a documented tubal block, laparoscopic surgery can easily treat it in most of the cases. A cannulation, we can easily open the tubes with the help of laparoscopy. Also, if the patient does not want to go for laparoscopy, IVF as an option is available. Okay, I have a very good question now displaying on my screen. A topic which I have definitely missed is endometriosis. Endometriosis. Normal public might not be knowing what is endometriosis. So I would like to first tell what is endometriosis. Endometriosis are those women which have pain during intense pain, intolerable pain during their periods, and sometimes on ultrasound in these women we see a cyst, a endometriotic cyst, and sometimes we might not see a cyst. So in these women they do face difficulty in conceiving. So what do we do for that? For endometriosis, definitely we should try and give them medical treatment first if we do not have any findings on ultrasound. If they're not able to conceive medically, then we have to go for other invasive options. So I have a question. Why partners are scared of treatment? Yes, even I want to answer this question. Don't be scared, friends. So I just wanted to say that the couple should practice physical and mental exercise together, and they should try to burn off this social pressure, try to avoid this social pressure, so that would not have any negative effect on your relationship. And think of it that you both are a team, so if you work together the result is not far away, and you both must go. So a lot of times in my OPD families of both sides are coming, so I would suggest that the couple should, yes, I know it is a lot of social pressure and it is a problem, infertility is a stigma, but yes, other than one or two visits, we should try to keep the families calm, cool, composed, and ourselves also. So then only we can achieve results. If we take a lot of stress, then the hormonal imbalances go away, and then we are not able to treat ourselves. So next question is how to, I have a very good question. How to mentally prepare yourself to become a parent? So for that, you first must understand whether you want to be a parent or not. If you want to be a parent, then at the right age only. It is very important to understand. So the couples, I know it is a difficult thing to explain, but we must understand that age is definitely a very important factor. So as our age increases, our ovaries age very fast. So we are born with a million oocytes, but when we turn 30, this million become 1,000, and when we turn 35, then even less. So what could have been achieved easily, like if you want to become a parent, if you don't want to become, it's fine, it's your choice. But if you definitely want to become one, then you must take a decision at the right time. If you have some reasons for not being able to become at that particular age, then you should go for options like freezing. As you turn 35, 36, this problem increases. What you could have achieved easily at 34 might be difficult at 38. So you must understand that. Now, we have a question, a very interesting question. What is the management of scar endometriosis? So this is a very good question, but I know people would not understand. A lot of times after cesarean, patients have pain during periods at the cesarean scar. That is scar endometriosis. So that is very easily treatable. The scar endometriotic site can be excised easily, and then you are free of pain. So you need experts like us for that. So next question is, okay, so how to maintain weight? Okay, lose कर लिया, but how to maintain it? So I've already explained weight loss in the beginning is very difficult, but once you start achieving it, then there is no stopping you. And you must understand that your body, as you age, your metabolism drops. So what you were doing at 20, you cannot do everything of that at 30 and expect the same results. For example, you're eating a lot of junk food at 18 to 20, but you're not still putting weight. But at 30, you have to be careful. You can't be eating the same amount of food and still be fine. So if you take care of your body, then only you will achieve desired results. So don't be over starving. Don't follow diets, but try to follow a healthy lifestyle. So if there are 7 days, try to eat healthy on 6 days, and yes, one day you can cheat yourself in moderation, right? But say no to dieting. I'm strictly against dieting. Why? Because I've had a lot of patients who've gone into even ovarian failure because of extreme dieting, and a lot of mental imbalances also. So friends, no to dieting, no to intensive workouts. If you're trying to conceive, try to follow a healthy lifestyle and you will achieve your goal. Okay, so next question is how to establish a good relationship with your partner. So for that, I think the answer is communication. Good communication. Try to communicate your concerns. Try to discuss the problem calmly and coolly, and then definitely you can establish a good relationship. So next question is, what is egg freezing? Good question. That is good. A very good question. So suppose you are unmarried and you are unmarried even till 36, 37, but definitely in life you do want to become a parent later on. But your partner is not decided. You are not married, but you definitely want to save your eggs. So egg freezing is an option available to those women who are busy and cannot conceive right now, or they're not married, they do not want the baby right now but want eventually in future. They can freeze their eggs through IVF, and then later on when they want to become pregnant or at 40 to 42, then they can use those eggs which are healthy. A 37-year egg would be definitely healthier than a 42 egg. Okay, so next question is, what is embryo freezing? So egg freezing is just egg freezing. Embryo freezing is meeting the egg. So we put the sperm in the egg and make the embryo and freeze it. So suppose you're married, but the couple doesn't want the baby right now. So they have had a first baby, but they're busy in their career for 3 to 4 years. But they do not know after 3 to 4 years they will have that kind of those kind of embryos or not. So they can easily freeze their embryos. Okay, so I have one off the track question, but I would love to answer that. How to control weight after the delivery? So after delivery, first of all, you need to understand that you just went through a major process. So you cannot lose weight in a day. You build that weight in 9 months, and then you have to feed your baby also. So try to lose that weight in a year. Go slow, go low. Do not eat those japa rich foods which everyone else is telling you, those ghee and laddus. Try to be healthy. Eat as much is required for lactation. So if you feel hungry, eat. Do not starve yourself, but eat healthy. So if you continue this process, you will definitely lose weight over a year or so. And as I've already mentioned, you can start exercises like walking as early as 15 days or 7 days. Small, start with baby steps. Start with 5 minutes. Then if you're fine for 2 3 days, then go to 10 minutes, then 15, then 20, and you can go up to 45 minutes also. So if you continuously do these things like follow a healthy lifestyle, as in a good diet, fixed meals, avoiding junk food, and regularly exercising, you will definitely reach your goal. And set realistic targets. Do not try to lose weight in 6 months. Try it in 1 year. Okay, so next question is, okay, abortions. I have a question that, a very common question. Ma'am, I have had 3 abortions. What do I do? Is there something abnormal? Should I go for surrogacy? No, friends. First of all, you must understand why are you having abortions. There are multiple causes of an abortions. Sometimes infection, sometimes your genes have some little bit of problems, sometimes thyroid issue, diabetes issues. If you have all these things, correct, treat yourself for get go for a workup. If you all these things get treated and you are able to find a cause, treat that and try that. If not, then you have to go for empirical treatment. There are various other treatments available. So when you conceive, give extra support to your pregnancy and be in regular touch of a doctor, considering that you've had previous abortions. So if you have had all those things, then you will definitely achieve a good result. But even in spite of that, if you don't achieve a result, then there are other options available. Okay. So, friends, I think I've had enough for today. I think I have answered most of the questions. So, I would like to encourage the audience if there are any more questions, they can post now or leave the questions in their comment box. I'll get back to them. Okay. So I would like to conclude that it's been a great session so far. I love doing these events in public interest. I love to spread awareness. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. It's been a great session so far, but I'll have to take your leave now. I hope many of you, in fact, got your doubts resolved through this session and will help you to mean it when you say. So, friends, say, I am fine, I am fine, I am fit. Say it loud and say it proud, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye from Dr. Vandana Jain.